All right, we're back now. It's been about 15 minutes and coat number 3 has started to dry up pretty good. There's still a little bit of moisture here, and even from the original first, still a little cool to the touch in there. You know, the thicker points. For the sake of the demonstration, we're trying to rush it just a tiny bit. We could, wait around for 30 minutes, an hour. But we kind of force dry it and let you see what it looks like. So that's 3 coats. Now, you can burnish at any point. So we'll just go ahead and lightly burnish that top again, right up here at the top. And you'll see immediately what begins to happen is, and the reason I'm going in different directions is so that you can get in between all the different little valleys, so this knife will ride in on different valleys. Okay, so you'll see me approach it from different angles. Okay? All right, so that's the way a typical Venetian plaster from recommended directions, that gets you right there. Okay? The top of it, the high points burnished, and the low points in a different shade or tone. But what we're going to do now is, I intentionally keep doing that, I'm going to go ahead and give it another coat, just to kind of demonstrate to you that the numbers of coats really do make a difference. Okay, so we'll keep it random once again, and we'll kind of this time maybe do another little different type of pattern, so that all of our patterns aren't the same all the time. We create a little bit of interest, come at it from different directions, and maybe just allow a little of the material to kind of ride on top of things and create general interest. Just allow yourself to express, get creative. Just, break it up a bit. Maybe I don't like the way that looks, so I'll come back on and lay down some material and let things begin to create and build and get multi-dimensional. If you read the bucket, it says it's a multi-dimensional material. Have a little spot here that maybe doesn't have anything on it. Just throw it on there. It's like no big deal. All right? So we're going to take off our material. You notice that I didn't re-wet. I hardly used anything that was on there. And we will put that back in the bucket. Some people don't like to. Then I'll take a damp rag and we'll carefully clean the sharp edge. I can't emphasize enough how careful you need to be cleaning these razor sharp edges. These are very, 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 very sharp. Okay? All the multiple coats create that. All right, so now coat number 4 is on our sample. I'll put it back out in the sun, I'll let it dry, and I'll show it to you in what we call a matte finish, which is just what you see there. And I'll go ahead and burnish it up, and we'll turn this into a literal sheet of glass right in front of your eyes. And see what you think about the way the manufacturer says you should put on bare Venetian plaster. All right, we're back. Coat number 4. I can't forget, I lost already. Yeah, coat number 4 is dry, and you'll see that where we threw those little nuances as we were going, and we just basically added some interest on top of the natural interest. Now the dark points you see that are coming out there, is remember we burnished the top? Normally you wouldn't have that. For example's sakes, I burnished this part. But you could. You could burnish the whole board and then throw on a coat. That gives you more multi-dimension. It's very versatile. So you can do just about anything you want almost. Bear always recommends that you follow the manufacturer's directions. I never do. Okay, so that being said, I don't know, do you want to burnish it here? Do you want to go another? Let's burnish it right here. Okay, so burnishing simply means that you're going to rub the knife on the entire surface. Okay? And any high point with these ultra sharp blades may come off if you dig a little too deep, as it did right there. Okay? Personally, I don't like this technique because of that. But it is manufacturer's directions, but you're going to experience that. If you burnish, that's what's going to happen to you. So I'm going to show it. That's just how it is. You can, on any coating, when you're rubbing a sharp knife over it, I don't care whose it is, Modern Masters, McCloskey's, son of a bitch. Okay, sorry about the little interruption there. Well, hopefully this thing spliced together fine. Got a call in between all of that. Okay, so we were in the process of beginning the burnish. Okay, and so the burnish is to take and rub the surface back and forth at various angles to bring out the high points. So you see these are all high points here, these dark things, and they're starting to come forward as we burnish over this bare Venetian plaster. Now, that right there, I mean, you can go a little bit more, but all that's happening right here is the knife is writing, if you can see this, the knife is writing on just the high points. Okay? So, the way we get this thing to come around to its own is, as you'll see on their instructions, that they recommend that you take, I think it's 600 grit or whatever. This is 400 grit paper. And we're going to take and knock those high points down just a bit. Okay, so I'm just turning my paper over because it can get plugged a little bit with that fine of a paper. 400 grit is very fine paper. Okay, so you can see what's happening there. We're getting a little bit of powder out of that. But now I've gone crosshatch, and now I'm going to take it at an angle because what we're trying to do is bring some of those high points down. Okay, so now we're going to take a damp rag and we're going to wipe that off. Okay? And be back when that dries. Okay, so we're back now, class. We've sanded that down and we've wiped off the dust residual that was there. There's no more dust. And we're going to take our blade once again. And now that the surface has been flattened, now we're going to burnish more of the surface because the knife is going to be able to contact more of the surface. And you'll see it happening right away, as I'm sure you can tell from that angle on the camera. I can't see it from that angle. And that's another thing about burnishing, is that you do need a good light source. And we'll do that in a minute. We'll take the camera off the tripod here in a little, and we'll show you what this is actually going to be looking like. Okay, so you can see that it's coming to its own here. My knife now just cut the tape because remember the knife's very sharp and you know it's elevated, so it bit into that. So you know, once again, be cautious that you don't cut yourself with these things. And you can do this as much or as little as you want. Now, if we sand more to get it even more level, it will polish up even more of this. Okay, so you can do this as much or as little as you want. I'm going to work a little down here as I may have overworked the top in the earlier coats. All right, so that should be pretty burnished. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to move it around at different angles to let you see exactly how much of a shine that genuinely has. As you can see here, I'll try to get some reflective value going. You can see out the windows there reflecting in it, and that's how shiny it is. All right, and we'll go the other way and see if we can get a little bit more angle here. It didn't show us much. So, anyways, that's what it looks like. Bare Venetian plaster done according to manufacturer's directions, and hopefully that gives you an idea of what it looks like when it's burnished. I believe we did 4 coats, very thin 4 coats, random, kind of in an X pattern type thing. There you go. Bare Venetian plaster by Venetian Virtual Institute. If you're interested in taking our advanced courses, of course this is not one of them. This is a free course. We do this for the homeowners who would like to learn how to do this. And you know, if you want to join up at Venetian Virtual Institute,